welcome to the Majors Live, episode 316 here on TMSNX Radio, themajors.net. I am Adam Hernandez. With me is Dorf. There's Sean. Let's get to it. Fan question tonight. Would you rather play baseball or fantasy football? This is going to be my answer to Sean tonight, whether or not I'm going to play
Sean has been bugging him about
fantasy baseball.
It's too late. Our draft's...
Oh, it's too late?
Yeah, that's why I was trying to get you to do it, and you never gave me an answer.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, the answer was going to be no anyway.
Yeah, and then I wasn't going to do yours.
That's fine.
I see how it is. Jerk.
So we're going to have a fantasy football draft trip for...
Man.
Because I'm going to play in your fantasy football league or whatever.
Yeah, you in?
Draft trip? Yeah.
You in?
I said yes, like immediately.
Yeah, he said he was in, even though I said I was in too, you jerk.
Wait, you are in?
Yeah, I told you I was.
I thought you just said you were going to be out.
I was being sarcastic.
Oh, okay. Well, then
you're not very clear with your sarcasm there, Sean. It's
Yeah,
very hard to pick up over text.
Yeah, because you actually sound... No, I'm saying just now, you actually sound very convincing. Like, I'm not going to play in your league then.
See? I'm very convincing, ain't I?
Yeah, sometimes you are.
God, you two are gossipy ladies about this kind of crap.
Hey, don't be hating.
What, fantasy stuff?
Because you're not cool enough to do it.
Relationship when it comes to the two fantasy leagues that you're trying to run with each other.
Oh. Well, it's important.
Yeah, it is.
That's going to be our fan question we're going to get to a little bit later on. Let's do a little blow by blow. I saw this today. Odell Beckham Jr. It sounds like the Giants are open to trading him. And they're the Los Angeles Rams are receptive of it. They want to go and get Odell Beckham Jr. on their team. St. Louis Rams are vying to be a very, very good team this
for the next several years until they have to pay Jared Goff.
Is Odell Beckham Jr. the type of guy, the type of personality that you want to bring into that locker room and potentially offset the good things that you've been able to do without a guy like Odell Beckham Jr.? Or is Odell Beckham Jr. one of those guys that's going to be able to potentially put you over the top?
Well, you did just sign Ndamukong Suh today.
True.
So your locker room's already going to be a shithole. I mean, like Haiti.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay, Donald Trump.
Wow.
Keep going.
Come on, you were supposed to laugh. Popular politics reference. Some credit for trying to make it somewhat topical from 2 months ago.
Who's the guy that never likes to have fun on these shows? It's Dorf. That when he does eject
I know,
fun,
and then you try to throw a little sneaker by us, we're like not laughing, and then you get mad. I wonder why.
The hell, man.
I'm going home.
You guys are no fun. I'm out.
Keep going, though.
I think it's very, very risky signing by the Rams. I know it's only 1 year, so it kind of limits your exposure, but you do still have a young quarterback and a young coach and a personality like Ndamukong Suh can run guys over like that. As it's very, you can see, it's been shown has happened in other locker rooms.
Yeah, I get very hesitant, especially. And I think you hit the key observation there, Dorf, and that is you have a young quarterback. And Jared Goff hasn't been completely successful since coming into the league. He obviously had that bad first year under Jeff Fisher.
Very good second year.
Very good second year. I want to keep that going. And I'm not sure a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. is a guy that I want on my team influencing or having any type of impact on a young quarterback. If he wants to go and, if you're the Giants, you want to continue to roll out Odell Beckham Jr. with Eli throwing passes at him, I mean, fine, whatever. Eli's at the tail end of his career. Cool, whatever. But I don't know. There's just something about Odell Beckham Jr. And Odell Beckham Jr. isn't a guy like he's not one of those personalities that are out there that, like a Keyshawn Johnson was. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, just give me the damn ball. There's something about Odell Beckham Jr. He's a very odd person. Very, very odd person that may not just I don't know. Something about him.
Plus his escapades in was it Spain this summer?
What happened in
OBJ?
Spain? What happened in Spain this summer? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't see this either.
You guys didn't see that him waking up with pictures posted online of him sleeping next to some random chick with a white powdery substance on a table.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah, I did not see that either.
And there's another thing too. I mean, if I'm not saying that he is, doing cocaine in some foreign country, but if I'm the Giants or I'm the Rams for that matter, I can see why the Giants want to get rid of him. But if I'm the Rams, I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing with that shit. I have too many good things going for me. I have a good young quarterback. I have a good team surrounding him. I don't need to do anything else like that. I mean, and the thing with Ndamukong Suh is he is a head case, but he's not a head case on the level that Odell Beckham Jr. is.
Right.
You're not going to see Ndamukong Suh crying on the sidelines or anything like that.
He's going to be stomping on somebody, making him cry.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you have to worry about with Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think Odell Beckham Jr. is one of those guys. He's an oddball. He's an oddball. He's a head case in a lot of the sense.
He's easily rattled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I don't need to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Sad news. Zeke Upshaw, G League player, Grand Rapids Drive, G League affiliate of the Detroit Pistons, actually collapsed Saturday night in a game against the Long Island Nets. And as it turns out today, he ended up passing away. Very, very sad development with that one. I really haven't heard exactly what has happened. It just they're just saying right now, initially it was cardiac arrest. A defibrillator was brought onto the court when he did collapse. I don't know if it was actually used, but he was stretchered off, it seemed like, fairly quickly and brought to a medical facility. And now we're just learning that he did pass away. What else could you say about something like this? Extremely sad situation. I don't know. I'm trying to remember the last player that died on the court. I'm not to say that Zeke Upshaw died on the court, but
who've collapsed and.
Didn't a soccer player?
Didn't it happen in football?
Recently? No, I don't think so.
I thought it was like some college or high school kid or college kid that happened.
Bobsledding at the Olympics, the last Winter Olympics, not the one that was just this winter, 2 winters ago.
Sochi?
Yeah, in Sochi there was a death in the bobsled practice.
Oh yeah, but didn't he? There was like a wipeout though.
Yeah, he flew off the track.
Yeah, flew off the track and into the.
That's so crazy.
Was that bobsled?
It was something that was on the bobsled course, so it
or was it like with the one where they?
I think it was 2-man bobsled.
Was it 2-man bobsled? It seems like it's. I don't know. That seems like it's. I don't know. Crazy though.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very crazy.
Luge.
Was it luge? See, that seems more.
Is that the one where you're laying on your stomach and you're going?
No, that's skeleton.
What's
the
luge?
Luge is the one on your back.
On your back, okay.
Yeah. What are you looking at?
No, it's the 2010 Winter Olympics in British Columbia.
Vancouver,
whatever. But the bobsled course was in Whistler, British Columbia.
Oh, okay.
He died in a training run in luge.
Yeah, see, that's luge and the skeleton, 2 of the craziest fucking sports in the Winter Olympics. Jesus Christ.
That happened. So deaths at the Olympics outside of the Munich hostage crisis. You had the Georgian luger. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name, so it's too hard. 2010, there was a short distance track runner or mid distance track runner from Nigeria who died in 2000 while getting hit by a vehicle.
Oh yeah, hit by a car.
In Albertville, France, in 1992, a speed skiing person collided with a snow machine in practice and died. And then you have to go back into the 60s for
speed skiing.
Yes, that was a demonstration sport of speed skiing. Apparently,
that's like probably instant death.
Isn't it alpine downhill?
Oh my gosh, that would hurt.
That's what it was called then. Now it's called.
Speaking of
downhill, now it's just called downhill.
Speaking of speed shit, have you guys seen that speed? It's not speed skating, but it's like it's kind of like roller derby on a track, not a round track, but they're sitting here like doing jumps and shit.
Yeah, like downhill.
Yeah, like downhill
it's the
ice
Red
skating.
Bull
Yeah.
extreme sports stuff, except it's on inline skates.
Well, no, it's on ice skates.
They do it on inline.
Do they do it on inline?
Yeah, they do it on
I'm talking
inline,
about
too.
I'm talking about the ice skates.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Holy shit. They're talking about adding this to the Olympics, which I think they should, because it seems like a
Well, it's like it's not just race against the clock. You like race against other people.
Yeah, you're racing against other people. There's jumps. There's
yeah. Whoa. Uneven sections.
There's
huge
uneven
drop-offs.
sections.
It's down the
hairpin
side of a
turns.
fucking hill.
Yeah. Sean, you gotta check this out.
I'm trying to think. I've never seen it.
It's
look
crazy.
up some of the like Red Bull Extreme Sports on YouTube, and some of that crap is whoa.
Yeah.
Or no, it's even fun. Like the downhill like BMX biking, like through like the slums of Rio de Janeiro down a hill.
They did that?
Yeah.
Last Olympics?
No.
Oh.
With like the excuse me.
What
You all right?
was that?
It was a hiccup and a burp at the same time.
You kind of scared me a little. I was like, what's
Seriously, hiccup and a burp at the same time.
I get hiccup burps all the
They're gonna
time.
throw up.
Mine don't
No.
sound like that.
I can't imagine if you threw up all over the place.
This, and it's projected right towards you. I'm like,
I'm not your son. Your son, does he still do that a lot?
Not really, no.
Okay.
No, what
Okay.
is this extreme? What?
It's like
Like I don't know what
downhill
it's called.
ice skating, Red Bull. Type that all into Google.
Let's see what you come up with. I forget what it's called.
I'm sure you'll find it.
It's nuts.
Extreme downhill ice skating.
Yeah. Like I saw this one in Minnesota. It was.
What the hell?
Did you find
I
it?
mean, it's a lot more exciting than curling.
It is more exciting than curling.
So what are they going to cut for this?
Everything
Can we
else
cut
in the Olympics?
trampoline?
No, this would be in the Winter Olympics.
Oh, that's right. Trampolines.
Trampolines in
in
the summer.
Can we cut trampoline anyway?
There's a shit ton of sports in the Summer Olympics you can cut. Speed walking.
I can't believe that's a thing.
You can cut speed walking.
What about trampoline?
No, trampoline's kind of fun.
For the trampoline, actually, I think it's pretty cool because the only reason why one of my coworkers actually has a gold medal in
Trampoline.
trampoline for the Olympics.
I don't know necessarily if you have to cut anything in the Winter Olympics to get it.
Okay.
It's not like there's not nearly as many sports as what you have in the Summer Olympics. So you probably
Well, yeah, it's a bigger production in the summer
yeah.
because it's not reliant on, no offense, but rich people sliding down hills.
Correct. Speaking of production, the NBA Finals has partnered with YouTube TV to air the final, or the NBA has partnered with YouTube TV, excuse me, to air the finals on YouTube this upcoming year.
Noise.
I don't know. You know what?
Future man.
I get this whole streaming thing, which is fine. I'm thinking about cutting the cord myself and going the streaming route.
welcome to my life.
What you're doing the streaming thing
Yeah,
too?
that's all I do. Yeah,
What service do you have?
I have Xfinity.
That's cable.
That's cable.
No, the internet. That's what I'm saying. I just do streaming through.
Oh, you just do streaming through that?
Yeah.
Do you have a stream? Do you have like a streaming provider though?
No. Oh, I use Sling TV.
Uh-huh.
That's just a whole bunch of
Okay.
channels. I have that, and then obviously Hulu and
Okay.
Netflix
So
and all
so you use Sling.
yeah, I use Sling.
I'm thinking about using Voo. I'm seriously thinking about doing Voo.
Oh, the PlayStation.
PlayStation.
I've heard
yeah.
good things about it actually.
Yeah, they have the
PlayStation
most.
TV.
They have the most to offer. It seems like, and you get
YouTube TV's not far behind. It's just expensive comparatively. For what
They,
you get.
How
they
much-
don't,
how
they don't-
much
they
is
don't-
it?
They don't offer as.
$5 a month.
That's about how much Voo is.
That's how much Sling is.
But they don't offer as much as
View.
as Voo does.
It's View.
View, whatever.
Whatever. How many channels do you get?
It
YouTube
depends.
TV is like $35, but you can also get your local. So
Yeah, the same thing with Sling TV. I get I have the orange package, and you get I get
so
obviously
turned into a streaming service advertisement
Yeah.
show.
Hey, you know what? Hey, wave of the future, man. I
I'll
love
have
it.
you. I'll have you look at my Sling stuff after it's on my phone.
and all
Okay.
that stuff afterwards. We'll
Okay.
look at it. You get quite a bit. Channel. I think I get like 40
I
channels.
don't know. It just seems. I don't know.
Right.
See, the NBA finals going to the streaming stuff. I mean, we
Right.
see this. It's not just that too. How many didn't the NFL partner up with Twitter?
Yeah.
Last year.
That's the thing,
to-
it's like
to-
I
to
have-
stream
Yeah,
on
it was
Twitter.
an epic fail.
Well,
Oh, was it?
With Sling, you get the NFL Network. I got Fox Sports Detroit because
Because obviously we're here in Detroit. And I
On
get to watch.
Which is
You-
about to be Mighty Mouse Sports Detroit. You know that?
What happened?
Yeah,
As
wait.
soon as the Fox sale goes through to Disney,
Uh-huh.
those go with it.
Oh, just
The
the
regional
main.
sports networks go
Oh,
with it.
okay.
Oh, okay. I thought I was like,
Not-
wait a
not-
second, what's going on? I'm like,
Not FS1, but like the regional networks, like Fox Sports Midwest. Yeah.
Yeah, I get a whole. I get the college channels with that too.
Oh, your teeth suck. Oh.
I don't get ESPN with this one. That's kind of
Oh.
crappy. But
So you had to go to the bar to
On
watch
View,
Chiefs
on
game.
View, you get View.
Huh.
You get
Sony View.
Red Zone.
yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah. So that's
It was cheap enough just to buy that for Red Zone.
yeah. I know.
Red Zone is so great.
It is. It's the best. It's the best. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're gonna see this a lot more now, though.
Mhm.
I mean, NBA putting the finals on YouTube TV. That's great. I'm glad that we're seeing more of this. Who just knows what's going on with that net neutrality thing later on down the road? But
real quick, going
good
for
to see.
the viewing thing, an off-topic thing here, real quick.
Honestly, if any ISP goes against net neutrality, you know how they will be skewered in the media? It'll never happen.
But you will like this.
what's that?
I bought the Boomerang app where I get all the old school Scooby Doo, the Flintstones, the Jetsons.
Oh, really?
You know, all the
Yeah,
old
yeah, a
Hanna-Barbera
lot of that
cartoons.
stuff too. And there's some Nickelodeon like Courage the Cowardly Dog. I paid $40 for the year when you get it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's at $40.
I'll show you. I have it on
Bitcoin
my
is
phone
under
too.
$8,000. Ah!
And we are just all over the place now. Speaking of Bitcoin, Johnny Football.
Probably knows what Bitcoin is. Yeah, he's playing his comeback.
I'm sure he does know what Bitcoin is. His family's very, very wealthy. But Johnny Manziel is going to be throwing at the Texas A&M Pro Day for all 32 NFL teams.
What?
Where do you think he lands if he does even get a
He was at
job?
the University of San Diego's pro day too.
Yeah, he
Was
was.
he?
I saw he was at the San
Yeah.
Diego.
He's
one.
making. You know what? He's making.
By the way, sweet in campus stadium at University of San Diego too.
Is that where Hoke's from? Didn't he coach there?
No,
No.
San Diego State.
San Diego Stadium.
No, the University of San Diego is home of your one Jamal Agnew of your Detroit Lions.
I don't know. It seems like Johnny Manziel's been saying all the right things, doing all the right things, staying out of trouble. I don't know. Do you think that there's a shot for him? Do you think that there's another chance for him in the NFL? Seems like there's plenty of quarterback spots to go around. However, I know the argument that Dorf is going to come up with. He's gonna come and talk about the Colin
Same
Kaepernick
argument
type of
as
thing.
Colin Kaepernick, man. Same one.
But Johnny Manziel didn't kneel for the national anthem.
That was never any component of why I didn't think Colin Kaepernick had a job. I just said it didn't help his cause, but I don't think that was the primary driving factor.
Okay. Is there a place for Johnny Manziel in the NFL right now?
I have one team that I think.
There's multiple teams that
Right.
can bring him aboard.
There's,
Go ahead, though, Dort.
there's never. I think that he could, potentially have a job, come and compete for a job. Whether or not he makes a team, that's another story. However, this is a fairly deep QB class, and there's a lot of teams that signed. Like AJ McCarron got a starting job this offseason, and like Tyrod Taylor was traded to the Browns. Not that he would ever go back to Cleveland, but
Cleveland was one of the initial teams that was watching him, though.
Mm-hmm.
so what? You know what? That's called being bad and doing your due diligence accordingly. Can I end up in a place like
That'd be such a
you know
Cleveland
what
thing
would be
to
a
do,
great
though.
place for him? Jacksonville.
That's where I was gonna say. I said that.
Small market.
I'm not worried about the market size. I'm not worried about it because it's an NFL market.
Yeah, I
it's
know.
going to be tough regardless.
Because Bortles fails, and then didn't they just bring in Chad Henne as a backup?
He's been there for a while.
No, I thought he was. Wait,
He's been there for like 5 years, Sean.
then they don't have Chad Henne. Chad Henne just signed and went somewhere
I
else.
can't believe Chad Henne's still in the league.
Chad, and he still has a job.
Yeah, he just went
Does
and
he?
signed somewhere else. Do I want to say Miami? When he went back to
where he
Miami?
started.
Kansas City.
Kansas City. That's where it was.
He's in Kansas
He's
City.
now the backup
Yeah.
to one Patrick Mahomes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kansas City.
All right.
What about New England?
No.
You don't think so?
It's already enough of a sideshow there.
Who is their backup this year?
Currently, nobody.
Was it at the beginning, or wasn't it Hoyer?
No, at the beginning it was Garoppolo.
Oh yeah, you're right. It wasn't.
Then it turned
Jacoby Brissett was on the
Yeah.
roster as well to begin the season.
Yeah.
At the end of the year for the Super Bowl, it was Brian Hoyer,
Mhm.
who had been cut by the 49ers of all teams
Mhm.
and moved over post trade.
Whoever poses the least threat to Tom Brady is going to be their backup. No, they're going to draft somebody.
You know where Drew Stanton ended up, speaking of which?
Cleveland.
Come on down to Cleveland Town. 2-year deal.
You know, Cleveland had the highest jump in terms of Super Bowl odds after free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Be surprised when they're that low. We can only go up.
Yeah, they did a lot too.
They're still going to take a QB number 1, man.
It's Cleveland way. Speaking of Cleveland, I'm just full of segues here.
Speaking of,
Albert Bell doing Albert Bell things.
that actually isn't a terrible segue. Because
No.
he played for the Indians, didn't he?
Yes,
did.
that's why.
Yep. What do you get popped for? Indecent exposure.
Indecent exposure and DUI.
Decent exposure was with the DUI, vaping, something, and drugs.
He was vaping.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous. And then the DUI, he blew a
Oh man, he
.08.
looks really bad too.
Yeah, he looks like he's
Why the fuck was he vaping?
According to the New York Post, headline: Albert Bell shook his penis at my teenage daughter. Accuser.
God, what the fuck, man? I'm not laughing at the situation.
It's the New York Post. Come on, so take the headline with a grain of salt.
I know.
Well, it's better,
this
Look at Albert Bell, though.
this
That's
makes me feel more like I had a Albert Pujols. I mean, Albert Bell misspelled last name baseball card.
Yeah.
That value is just destroyed now. After this, I'm like,
Well, after he's shaking his penis at
she's
somebody.
pretty- nobody's gonna want that shit now.
He was arrested in Maricopa County, Arizona.
Yep.
On charges of indecent exposure.
Well, at least he's in a warm climate.
And DUI.
But it's
exposed
a
himself
dry
to 2
heat.
adults and 2 minors, according to the police.
Anyways.
At 9:21 at the Phoenix Rising Soccer Club Stadium.
Hey, man.
3 counts of indecent exposure and DUI.
Not surprising in the least bit. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to our bitches and badasses this week. Badasses, Sean, go ahead.
I am actually gonna go with John Beeline and the Wolverines. What they have done in this bracket has been. I am gonna be a homer. I don't care, but I've been very impressed with what they've done. You know how he's handled this team and taken care of and beaten some of these teams, and it's been a nail biter for some of them. And kind of like what we talked about in our last show, the Major Detroit. Dorf brought it up. He's not doing it with a dominant defender down low. You know, he has this
Out of shot block.
right. You know, like he's doing this with actual like legit playing guards. You know, beating everybody.
Thanks to the committee, too, for putting him in that.
Cupcake division.
Dorothy Poo, go ahead.
Don't call me that, man. My badass this week is actually going to be Gino Auriemma and the Yukon Huskies women's basketball team.
That's not what it says here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that is not my badass. I forgot about that. It's actually
What? You can't have 2 badasses.
Well, I screwed up. So
Oh,
it's
God.
actually going to be Nevis Coleman, now current White Sox employee, acquitted for a heinous rape and murder charge after 23 years in jail. And credit to the White Sox, he was part of the grounds crew before. Immediately upon his release and clearing and expunging of his record, they gave him his old job back.
Shouldn't the White Sox be your badass, though?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of both of them, but more the guy. You know, it sucks. You know, it absolutely sucks that he spent 23 years behind bars for something he didn't do. After DNA evidence emerged last November, but he wasn't the guy responsible. You know, good to the White Sox for giving him his job back, and you know what? Kind of gets back to right where he was, where he left off. And his old friends, he's now his boss. The guy's now in charge. There's a good buddy that testified in his trial that actually voided likely his friend's testimony, and now his boss actually was part of the reason he didn't get much of death for this season.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Good on them. And sticking with Chicago, full of segue tonight, man. I'm gonna go Loyola-Chicago as my badass this week. What are they? Are they 9 or 11? 11 seed in the Final Four. Sister Jean doing all types of magical things for that school.
She'll hand him in the Sweet 16, man.
Right. I think she's praying really hard. God is answering. This small Jesuit school from north side of Chicago. That's where they are.
I know.
Northeast portion of Chicago, just south of Evanston. So yeah, looking to be the lowest seeded team to win a national title since Villanova did it. I believe it was 1985. So good for them. Good to see. We've got Michigan this upcoming weekend in the Final Four, so we'll see what they can do. Moving right along, though, our bitches. Dorf just added one, so we'll go with Dorf.
Yeah,
go
Dorf.
ahead.
My bitch it's not really a big bitch this week. Is Ian Kinsler of the Angels. Did you see him forget the number of outs in the inning and casually steal third base? It's freaking hilarious. He started, so he's at second base. Justin Upton strikes out for out number 2. He thinks it's the third out of the inning and starts trotting towards the third base dugout. And they're playing the Dodgers in an exhibition. Yasmani Grandal stands up and is like, what? And they don't, I forget who's playing third base because Justin Turner's hurt. And he just walks to third base.
Did he get it?
Yeah, without a throw.
So is that Ian Kinsler that's the bitch here, or is that the Dodgers?
He's a bitch because he forgot how many.
But did he go? So obviously he was just going towards the third base. Like he didn't go out of the baseline, so then he wasn't out.
Nope. Walked right towards the base.
I figured the Dodgers. You know,
so you say the third baseman walked towards the dugout, or
No.
Ian Kinsler?
Ian Kinsler takes his secondary lead off second base. Justin Upton swings and misses for out number 2. And he starts trotting like he's trotting off the field. And everybody forgets that there's still baseball to be played.
Well, he
ends up
probably-
at third base without
Maybe
a
he
throw.
did that on purpose.
maybe he's confusing everybody.
Yeah, you can tell the body language after. He's like, whoop, got away with one there. I don't think he ended up scoring. I think the next guy got out without him pitching. It was fun.
Sean, go ahead.
I'm actually going to keep it at the same subject as what we're talking about with Albert Pujols. I mean, I keep saying Albert Pujols. Albert Bell.
Hey,
Albert Bell.
take that back.
Albert Bell. You led the league in RBIs for 3 years, led the league in home runs before, you have almost a career 300 batting average and possibly could have been in the Hall of Fame. But you go and do stupid shit like this. It's like, come on, you're a role model. You should be.
No, he's not.
Back in the
Albert Bell has never been a role model.
Every professional athlete is a role model.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are, but they don't act like it. But they are.
No.
Yes, they are.
Any parent out there going and depending on athletes to be role models.
And guess what? That's where
themselves.
athletes have to do that because there's immature parents out there that don't know what the hell they're doing.
Sean, change that mentality before you have kids.
No.
Oh my God, Albert Bell is like the worst of the worst. Well, speaking of dickheads, my bitch this week is Grayson Allen.
God.
For no good reason whatsoever, other than his college career is over.
Hopefully don't have to see him. Hopefully no NBA teams are going to.
Oh, they're gonna take him.
I know.
They're gonna take Grayson Allen, but yes, Grayson Allen has gotten this image of being a complete and utter shithead while he's been in school. And yes, I wasn't sad in the least bit that his collegiate career came to an end yesterday. So, Grayson Allen, just for one more.
You mean young Ted Cruz?
Young Ted Cruz, who's also a dickhead. So they share that in common. Grayson Allen, one last hurrah in college. You are my bitch of the week. So, moving right along and sticking with the college game here, we've got the Final Four coming up. The right and left side of the brackets. My God, the left side or the right side, excuse me,
Tough.
seems pretty legit. You've got Kansas, you've got Villanova, you've got your 2 number 1s coming out on top. Somewhat expected, I would think. I don't think it's a surprise seeing Villanova in the Final Four. It's not a surprise to see Kansas in the Final Four. But on the left side of the bracket, Loyola, University of Michigan, which isn't too surprising. They were a 3 seed. But I don't think Michigan has played all that great throughout the tournament. And I said that during Motor City Uncut, which you can hear on Detroit.themajors.net, Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Shameless plug.
But anyways, though, what we're going to do is we're going to make a case. Or I'm going to make a case for each team still left in the Final Four. and my comrades here.
Yes, comrade.
Dorfinovich and Belovinich are going to
Bela Stojakovic.
Orvanovsky.
Wait, say it again.
Bela Stojakovic.
Bela Stojakovic
I don't know.
and Walters Dorfoff.
Because I was a huge Peja Stojakovic fan back in the day.
Yeah, speaking of pages, funny story. So, like, buddy and I growing up playing some NBA basketball game, and there was some glitch in it where whoever Peja Stojakovic was playing for at that time, he had like a glitch in his 3-point range and accuracy on the stock default game. He was making like 3/4 court 3-pointers well guarded.
For what? Just video game?
Yeah.
NBA Live 2004.
No, was that it?
Yes, because that was the same game that
As-
Ray LaFrance could block Shaq to block everybody.
Yeah, and it was just a glitch. Peja Stojakovic, they just inbound. Meanwhile, he plays power forward.
Yeah.
And this is games before they figured out that you didn't have to inbound the ball to the point guard. Video games, anyway. They just inbound to him, he'd turn around to shoot a 3, and he'd fucking make it every time.
Yep, I did that with him all the time.
From the other free throw line.
That's when I became a big fan of Peja Stojakovic.
So that's why.
Oh, gosh. Good old times.
So anyway, that's my funny Peja Stojakovic story. Played for the Kings, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sacramento Kings.
All right, you guys. Here's the case for Loyola. Again, Cinderella team, 11th seed. Nobody thought they'd be here in a sense. Although I will take credit again. They were on my sleeper list a couple weeks ago, but I digress. Here's what Loyola has working for them. And you guys can take this and consider it all you want. They have a spread out offense. They average 50% from the field on most nights. And Dorf said it in the last show, they have 4 different players that have gotten hot during the tournament, scoring in double figures. They're ranked 5th in effective field goal percentage. And they have the ability to go small, very small, with a 5-guard lineup. Very, very untraditional. Can offset things a lot, though, especially if you have a big, slow team, which Michigan doesn't really have. And then Cameron Krutwig, good inside-out passing ability, good on the low post, and so far has been a big-time difference maker for the Ramblers up until this point in the tournament. For Michigan, talent. That's what we're going to have when we have a major conference team going up against a mid-conference. What conference is?
Like
Are they Missouri Valley? They're not
something like
Missouri Valley, are they?
MVC or something. I don't know.
Okay, whatever.
I'll look it up.
Let's see.
Missouri Valley.
Missouri Valley. That's what I thought. They need to get good opportunities in the post. They need to continue feeding that. Get good perimeter defense, which they have been doing so far throughout the tournament. Mo Wagner is going to be instrumental in shutting down Cameron Krutwig. Again, something that no other team has been able to do throughout the entire tournament. This goes much the same for Duncan Robinson. And again, Dorf said this in the last show, utilizing the mismatches between Duncan Robinson, Mo Wagner, and Charles Matthews, especially Charles Matthews, who's been very, very good so far this postseason in the tournament. He provides a huge mismatch in that backcourt. Right now, well, not right now, they won't have a guard in Loyola that'll be able to size up comparatively against Charles Matthews. So again, Michigan's going to win this game. They got to play the mismatch. And then they are ranked 3rd in adjusted defensive efficiency. So right now we're going to have a true battle between defense and offense between Michigan and Loyola heading into this game. Dorf, who do you think wins and why?
National championship? Is that what you're asking? Sorry.
No,
This round.
Loyola versus Michigan. I think the lack of size overall, even though Michigan's not a big team, they do not have an answer for Mo Wagner. The size department, he is still going to be an NBA first-round pick this upcoming draft. And for that alone, I mean, they don't have the length to guard him at the perimeter. I mean, they do have one guy of size that plays. But the only problem is he would never be able to keep up with him around the perimeter, which means it's really going to limit his minutes. And for that reason alone, if assuming Mo Wagner doesn't forget how to throw the ball in the ocean, I think that matchup alone is going to be the difference maker.
Okay.
With me, I
Bela Stojanovic, go ahead.
Bela Stojakovic.
Sorry, go ahead.
I believe kind of what Dorf says. You know, they don't have anything to really stop Mo Wagner in Michigan. Besides that, too, like you're gonna have troubles with Duncan Robinson, and you could even say the same thing with Tessie coming off the bench. You know, a big 7-foot guy who can actually, you know, who can score if you give him the ball. It's right.
Freaking Gump, man.
I know, but still, that's what I'm saying. They don't have anybody who can stop a Gump like that. That's you just give him the ball down low, and hopefully,
unathletic Gump.
Well, usually you don't need anybody to stop the Gump. Usually the Gump is going to stop themselves.
But the thing is, with this situation, I don't think they have like the correct stuff to stop the big guys that Michigan's big guys that are not really technical big guys. But I just don't think that they have the talent to do that. They have the talent on the outside to get points and stuff like that, kind of like what Michigan does have with their versatility of being able to play. But I don't think Loyola can stop that. They just don't have. I don't think they have the momentum to stop that.
No, and I think you guys are right. I think what this comes down to the three guys. I think it comes down to Duncan Robinson, Mo Wagner, and Charles Matthews to present those mismatches, to prevent those, or to present those mismatches, and shut down the perimeter, get the low post on offense, and just totally expose Loyola for being a smaller team, which again I think is very ironic, very very weird to say when you're talking about an opponent from Michigan going smaller than them. So just because it seems like that's always Michigan, or one of Michigan's downfalls is dealing with bigger teams in the low post and in some sense on the perimeter as well. But I think you guys are right. I think it's going to come down to those mismatches and Michigan using their overall talent to overcome all of that. Heading over to the other side of the bracket, though, we've got Villanova. Villanova's an offensive juggernaut, you guys. They score 87 points a game. They shoot 50% from the floor. And they're scoring, they're hitting 12 3-pointers a game.
And the things you kind of can look at that too for Villanova, they really don't have a big team either. I'm like, they have an average of around 6'6" to 6'9", like guys.
No, and you're seeing a lot of that too with both these teams, whether it's Villanova or whether it's Kansas. Not a bunch of front court depth. They do have a lot of all around talent though. Something Villanova does very well.
Kansas doesn't have a lot of length either.
No, they don't.
I mean,
that's what he was just saying.
Is a tank, but he's not very tall.
No,
nor can he stay at a
no. And that's what I'm saying is both teams don't have a lot of depth up front. They don't. But I'll continue here. Villanova rebounds very well. Fourth nationally in assisted turnover ratio. Jalen Brunson, national player of the year, and they've proven their defense to be potent as well as putting away. Judging from what they've done against Texas Tech in their last game, with an 11-0 run to shut things out. As far as Kansas goes, they do have a deadly backcourt threesome and Big 12 Player of the Year in Devontae Graham, as well as Malik Newman, and I'm going to butcher this name. Sviatoslav Mikhailu. There we go. They're ranked 6th in effective field goal percentage. They have a 7-footer in Azubuike having another big game like he did against Duke. Could very well carry over into this one.
7 feet tall?
Yes.
He looks like he's about 6'6".
He's 7-footer is what it says.
Brick house.
But he did have a good game against a very, very talented Duke front court. If he's able to do that again, that puts Kansas in a very, very good position to beat Villanova. And I don't think you could look over Kansas's gauntlet that they went through in their region and who they've had to beat to get to this point. Out of all 4 of these teams, Kansas has certainly had the toughest test to the Final Four of Villanova, of Michigan, and of Loyola. So, of Villanova, of Kansas, who do you guys have and why?
I have Villanova.
I believe that they have more of the talent to go around to spread the ball more instead of like Kansas just has those. Oh my god, my mind's went blank. Three like basically main three guys for Kansas that they have that can touch the ball, shoot every like 40% 3-pointers. You know, and you look at Villanova, they have more all well-rounded guys. They don't have that 7-footer. That's going to be a problem for them to stop 7-footer. But I believe that they have more of a like I'm looking at their statistics right now. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players on their team right now that can shoot the ball almost 40% behind the 3-point line. So I truly believe that's going to be more of the dominance because they can spread the ball around more. It's not just that one person trying to score every single time. You know, with Kansas, they only have a good handful of them, if that.
Dorf.
Here's another thing to consider. Both these teams have been there, both veteran teams.
Right.
A ton of guys. I mean, Villanova, won it 2 years ago?
Yes.
So, I mean, there's still a lot of guys left from that team. They have the firepower to, which is very effective in college sports, to spread them and shred them. Mm-hmm. You see a lot of success of that in football and as well in basketball, where they can go 5 out. I mean, Michigan runs a very similar offense, where you don't have a guy in the paint, and it's just cuts and isolation drives and pick and roll, pick and pop, excuse me, and it's just hella effective. Kansas has had real trouble staying out of foul trouble with their bigs, which gets them into their bench.
And they're not a good free throw shooting team.
Not a very good free throw shooting team. So, with that reason, I think Villanova will prevail.
I think so too. Villanova was my pick before the tournament even started. I'm going to go ahead and stick with them. I think what they're able to do on both ends.
Yeah, so Villanova is your national champion at the beginning. Sean, who was yours?
Villanova.
Okay, I had Duke.
Yeah,
it was terribly wrong.
I have Villanova and Michigan in the finals.
Wow.
Duke wasn't terribly wrong. I mean, they were out in the Elite Eight.
I had Villanova making the Final Four and losing to Duke. But that's it. That's all I
Fuck, I had
Despite that crappiness, I'm still in like 18th. My bracket is terrible. I'm in the 18th percentile on ESPN.
Oh, really? I didn't look at mine on CBS.
It's awful.
Yeah, I didn't even look at mine on CBS. I had Virginia, UNC, Michigan State, and Villanova. With Villanova beating, I believe it was, I want to say Virginia in the national championship, but whatever. But like I said, I'm going to go with Villanova as well. I mean, just offensive alone, what they're able to do on that end of the court. But again, I think they have shown themselves to be a pretty potent defense as well. They can play on both ends of the court. I'm going to go ahead and take Villanova to win or beat Kansas. And when it comes to the national championship game, you guys, who do you guys have beating and why?
I'm going to have Villanova taking the national championship. Now, it's going to be whoever comes out of the Kansas-Villanova matchup. Michigan has a shot, I think, more against Villanova than they do against Kansas just because of the post-play potentially of Kansas. But I still think Villanova is the best matchup for anybody, period, and will prevail overall.
Sean?
I'm also going to go with Dorf's answer of Villanova, which I've picked from the beginning. Michigan has obviously had the easier way to get into the championship like this. Michigan hasn't really played a team like Villanova yet. You can say the closest one you possibly could have maybe Florida State or Houston, but I still think Villanova is going to really out-control Michigan, and Michigan is in for a treat. As much as being a Michigan fan my entire life and all that stuff, I don't see Michigan keeping up with Villanova. They don't have the all-around, stuff to keep up with that.
I think, Dorf, you brought up a good point as far as Villanova being a team like Michigan, but on a much greater scale.
They're everything Michigan does, but better.
Yeah, with much better talent. And I certainly see what you're saying about them having a tougher time against Kansas than Villanova. With that said, though, if Villanova plays Michigan, Michigan is going to see firsthand everything that they want to be and more. I just don't think Michigan just doesn't have the talent. I mean, we're talking about Michigan going against Loyola and presenting that talent to Loyola. If Michigan plays Villanova in the finals here, Villanova is going to present to Michigan that talent that a superior team has that runs that type of system. So Michigan's just not going to be able to compete with that. I mean, we see what Michigan's scoring up until this point. We see what Villanova's scoring up until this point. And defensive alone, I mean, that's something that Michigan isn't going to be able to contain. I don't care how good you are. If you can't go toe-to-toe with that offense, at some point, your offense has to get going, and your offense has to be able to keep up. They're not going to be able to do that against Villanova if they play. So I'm going to go ahead and take Villanova to win it all against Michigan. Anything else on this, you guys?
No, I'm good.
No? All right. What time is that game come on next week? 9 o'clock?
First game's at 6. Second
Yeah.
game's at
No, I'm
9.
talking about the national championship game.
Sure.
Does it usually come on at like 9
It's probably
o'clock?
Monday at like 8:30.
Yeah.
You want me to look real quick?
I'm looking right now.
Okay, go ahead, Sean.
Anyways, what do we got next? Should we get to our question tonight?
Sure.
Fantasy football or fantasy baseball? Sean, this is going to be my answer to you. Sorry, I didn't know.
Sean is a terrorist when it comes to this question.
Sean?
Lock him up.
Oh my God. Are you going to say fantasy baseball is better than fantasy football?
We'll get to it when you ask me the question.
This is the
You're asking me the
question.
question? No.
Oh, thank God.
But there's different types of fantasy baseball that I do like more than football. I'm not the biggest fan of like when it comes to fantasy baseball, we have to individually pick all the pitchers and stuff like that. Shut the fuck up. But I don't know if you guys have ever played in a fantasy baseball league where you actually pick the pitching staff instead of individual pitcher. It makes it more interesting.
Wait, you pick like
The
like,
pitching
So it's
staff.
like it's
yeah.
like football defensive.
Yeah, you pick the pitching staff instead of individual pitchers from different teams.
Ew.
I actually kind of like that. It makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
It makes it more of a challenge. I think that right there makes fantasy baseball more interesting for people to play, but I don't think a lot of people know about that.
There's just so much that goes, like having to sit there and watch your team every single day.
And I could do that. That's the thing. You know, I love that.
Can I be in your league and not pay attention to it and go to the championship again?
It probably would happen if you done that.
I would pay more attention in a keeper league. I just can't.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. Like that's why I do more.
It's
keeper
too much of a commitment, man.
I'm
sorry.
For you.
Fantasy football is superior because it doesn't require your daily attention. It's something you have to pay attention for like 20 minutes at max on Thursday, 15 minutes on Saturday, and at about noon on Sunday for 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Well, there's some fantasy baseball leagues where you lock up where you can't change it throughout the week. There's different styles of stuff like that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but so much could go wrong.
I know, and that's the thing. That's where it makes it more interesting and makes it more kind of nerve wracking.
I don't know if it makes it more interesting. It makes it more frustrating.
That's the whole point of isn't it kind of like the whole point of fantasy sports?
Well, no, it just kind of makes it more stupid because you're like, okay, I got to sit here and lock my fantasy baseball team on Monday, and all this shit can go wrong, and that's not fun, and it's not. You know, it's not challenging or anything like that in the least bit. Just because you're sitting here, you're relying on. There's just so much that goes into a week of baseball.
Yeah.
That either which way you do it is just like, ugh, I don't want to do this. It's not worth my time.
See, some people do like that. I'm not saying baseball is more important than football. I do believe fantasy football is better. It's more fun to play than fantasy baseball. I'm just saying, but there's just different styles of fantasy baseball that I like compared to the normal fantasy baseball that most people play.
I'm not
and that's why I like to play fantasy baseball to a certain level different than everybody else.
I'm not even a huge fan of fantasy football, to tell you the truth. I mean, I just
You talk about how you hate it all the time, and then you go like finish in the top 4 in your league, and then make some money, and then you don't hate it.
No, I like playing.
You hate fantasy football guy. You don't hate fantasy football.
No, it has to be the right league for me. I will never ever be in a league again where you sit there and you throw away your team every year and you draft an entirely new team.
Oh, that's the kind of league I've won 3 years in a row.
I don't like doing that.
You like doing a keeper league?
I like the keeper league.
I'm the same way.
It's a show of more talent and skill to play in non-keeper leagues because you got to build it all up from the ground up every year.
I don't know
Well, you're
about
still
that.
technically building from the ground up. The keeper league, you're not keeping the entire team.
There's-
You're
there's-
keeping maybe
there's-
like 3 or 4.
There are keeper leagues where you can keep your entire team.
Yeah, I don't play those. I like to keep where, like,
You're
due to
about
the
ready to.
Man, you didn't say this before we
So
agreed.
whose shit team am I inheriting?
Yeah,
Oh, well, we got to talk about that still.
Oh.
We gotta decide what we want to do in that regard. It's
Uh,
pretty,
Or if there's enough new guys entering the league, you got to scrap it and start over.
yes,
Cool. Let's do that.
we're gonna see where we are though with everything, and
Okay.
I've got some ideas I'm throwing around in my head too to make things a little bit more interesting.
What about the expansion draft?
What do you mean?
So you guys can still sign up for all your keepers, and you can
Mhm.
only like lock protect 2 guys, and so then you have an like the guys that are starting fresh can have an expansion draft where they can pick. I don't know what's your maximum number of keepers that normally, or is it you're the league that you can keep everybody?
You can't keep everybody, but you can keep like a good number. I forget the ratio from offense to defense, but you can keep like say up to like 4 defensive players and a shit ton of offensive players if you
Okay,
wanted
well then you can set your guys can pick your keepers.
Mhm.
However, each one of us, the 2 expansion guys, they can poach, and you can only refuse 1 time. They can poach anybody off. They have to take 1 from everybody,
Mhm.
or how many ever it works out. The math works out. You take 1 or 2 from everybody, and you can't say no. You can only say no once total.
I like that.
I would say you can't say no at all.
Can't say no at all.
Yeah.
Fair. Well, no, because
That's
then
not really fair
that's
because
not really fair.
because we could end up with a lot of
I
really good
could end
players.
up with like the top.
Yeah.
I could end up with the top 10 guys total between
Yeah.
the 2 of us, just because you can't say no.
Like I said, we have
So
to.
it's one of those that it's say you have Todd Gurley and I want to take him from you. You can say no to that, but then now
No,
you can't refuse.
yes,
us
I can
claiming
come up and say
anybody
that.
else but Todd Gurley.
Like I said, we gotta figure it out. I
Mhm.
think
That's my proposal.
It sounds like we're leaning towards everybody just drafting
Start over.
completely new teams.
I'm cool
That's
with
what it
it.
sounds like.
I'll kick your ass.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but yeah, I don't know.
Real quick,
See,
they don't have
This proves the superiority of fantasy football because it's March and we're talking about fantasy.
That's true. But
And Sean, and in fantasy baseball season's here, and we're telling Sean to shut up about
pretty much.
baseball.
They don't have a set time for the national championship game yet.
Oh, not yet.
No, not yet.
Okay, thanks for following up on that.
Yeah, no problem. I've been trying to, but Dorf can't stop talking.
Now Greg Bird's hurt too. Dang it.
Yeah, that happened yesterday.
Stupid shit. You know what? We have a stupid shit of the week, and I don't want to completely call it stupid shit of the week because I want to get your assessment on this. There is a spring league coming
Okay.
for professional football. It's called the Alliance of American Football.
Okay.
According to CBS here, the league is the brainchild of the man who directed the 30 for 30 documentary about the XFL. And from CBS, let's see here. Quote from them, "The Alliance of American Football represents a fundamental shift in the way we approach professional sports," Charlie Embersall said. "We believe fans, players are what's important, so our approach is simple. We've created an alliance where fans and players share the success of their teams. Players have our full commitment that we will seek the highest degree of safety and our support as we continue to invest in their success off the field with post-football career scholarships and financial wellness programs," he continued. "With the expertise of Bill Polian and the leadership of a team of respected former All-Pro players and executives, we are committed to putting the best football product possible on the field every weekend, ensuring that 2018 will be the final year of fans to have to experience a 6-month period without football. The plan, like the XFL, is to stock the league with players who don't make it onto NFL rosters. There's a significant amount of football talent looking to begin or extend their professional careers," Polian said. "The Alliance will provide those players with an opportunity to compete at a high level. Our players and fans are the lifeblood of the Alliance, and we will treat them as such. We will give players an opportunity to flourish on the field while establishing plans to support their personnel and professional growth, health, safety, and financial well-being. This is our commitment to them and will result in an exciting pro football product on the field that fans across the nation and other in our markets can rally around. They will air on CBS with the debut game happening on February 9th, 2019, 1 week after the Super Bowl. The network will also carry the Alliance of American Football's championship game on the final weekend of April 2019. One regular season Alliance game will air exclusively on CBS Sports Network each week as well. And let's see if there's anything else here. But rosters will have 50 players each and will be built primarily through a regionally based draft to differentiate the Alliance of American Football from its competitors. There will be no TV timeouts and 60% fewer commercials. Other differences will include no kickoffs, and instead of an onside kicks, the trailing team will receive the ball on their own 35-yard line facing 4th down and 10. There will also be a 30-second play clock and mandatory 2-point conversion attempts after touchdowns.
So you can by onside kicking, you get the ball at your own 35 on 4th and 10.
4th and 10. Not sure what to think of that.
Seems like pretty shitty. Oh, we just scored.
Yeah.
You don't have the chance. You don't have the option to try and recover the onside kick. I think it should be something like stupid, like 4th and 20.
4th and 20.
So that's about the percentages. Okay, so
what about moving it back to like the 45?
No, you're on your own side. You're on your own side of the field. You're not in plus territory.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
4th and 20 from your own 20. Got to get it to midfield from your own 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Be interesting.
What do you guys think though of the of obviously this is a much shortened season. February to late April is what we're looking at here. So it sounds like they're really trying to make this into
A minor league?
a minor league system for the
Feeder
NFL.
league.
Yes, so to speak, because it's going to be running not in conjunction with the NFL, but notice it's going to start right after the Super Bowl and finish up well before NFL training camps begin.
Didn't when this first come out, didn't I say that the only way this would survive if they make it into a minor league for the NFL? Because remember when Vince McMahon came out and said, like he spent like 20 whatever billion whatever dollars. I said that I'm like, the only way this is going to survive is if they make it in the minor league NFL, and like he can't bring it back like what they did how many years ago.
It's still not a true minor league.
But you can see it's leaning towards that way, so like you can clearly see that.
Well, like Dorf said, it's more or less a feeder league for the NFL right now. I mean, I see what you're saying, Sean, but this system right now, I can see this working more so than something like the NFL or the XFL, where you're competing during an important portion of the NFL offseason.
Right.
And I'm guessing it's going to be leading right up to the NFL season. And plus the XFL's already failed before. I don't know. I think the timing of this league, not so much these little subtle differences, because to tell you the truth, I don't know how much that'll play into the league's success. Whether it's the no TV timeouts, 60% fewer commercials. Okay, that's fine. That's not something that affects the on the field stuff. But the no kickoffs, the change to the onside kick rule, so on and so forth. I don't necessarily think that that's going to play a huge difference into the success and the potential failure of the league. I'm thinking the timing of the league is something that can play into it succeeding or not. Going on, starting right after the Super Bowl, the week after the Super Bowl, and continuing with enough time for the NFL to take a good look at what just transpired during that past season and figuring as to whether or not they want to invite any of these players to their camp. I think that's the real interesting thing about this league, more so than anything else. Thoughts?
Go ahead, Dorf.
I just don't see this ever getting off the ground. So
I mean, ultimately, I don't either. I mean, it's another professional football league.
If the NFL were to get behind it and sponsor it and bankroll it, even because it's not going to be financially liable for several years, because at the same time you're competing against for the eyeballs against the stretch run of the NBA and the NHL. That's really, really tough sell. Yeah, time's right to capture the football fan, and football is still king. But unless, Chris, you're going to have the NFL bankroll it, which I doubt they will, I don't see this going anywhere.
I think they're trying to set it up though, in a sense, door for the NFL to eventually get on board.
And that's,
because
so the whole it's like a tech startup. The whole goal is to run the company so it gets to a place where it gets bought by a bigger fish.
Kind of,
pretty much.
Okay,
and that's what I was saying before.
That's
what I see it kind of happening right now. Like what's going on now? They're just luring the NFL just to buy them.
Well, like I said, I don't think.
I mean, if that's your goal, that's
so be it.
admirable and can be done.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to make an independently financially stable and successful league, you're not going to.
No,
too big of a demon to slay.
And I agree with you. It's a lose-lose situation in any sense of what you choose to do, whether it's play at this point in the year or during the summer when the NFL is busy with training camp.
And see, and that makes that's the difference between most sports and stuff like that. Because like, if the NFL played more than 16 games, if the players could handle that, like that would be different. Where this would be a lot easier. Like for baseball, you play 162 games. The NBA, you play 82 games. Hockey, I'm not familiar. Is it around 64 for hockey?
60 or hockey?
Yeah.
No, you play 82.
Oh, you do play 82? Oh, God, I thought I was in the 60s. But I'm saying it's easier for those sports because you play so many more games. Where this makes it more of an opportunity for you to do stuff like that. With only playing 16 games of the year. Or 17 games, I mean, it makes it so much harder for you to try, like, to get something going like this, because after, like, you get to start going, and after 16 games, I mean, like, it's over.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it's like I said. I think more than anything, the timing of this league is interesting. Anyway, so Sean. What's going on in the news this week?
First of all, everybody saw today, Sue signed with the Rams for 1 year, $14 million. Like we talked about before, I'm like, that's going to be a pretty solid defensive line. In St. Louis, they're not in St. Louis anymore. I know. In Los Angeles, they've they're improving. Like what we said before in our topic before, that Golf is improving, hopefully he, can run that offense, and that defense is just getting better, and they're young.
And you said they do run a 3-4, Dorf?
Rams do, yes.
Yes. So I don't know.
Yeah. And then another thing, moving into baseball, the Phillies guaranteed Scott Kingery their number 3 top prospect, isn't it? 2. $24 million over 6 years, and he's never played a game in the bigs, never has a bat. So, and like you brought this up before. I think it was where we were talking about between the shows, Dorf, about Singletary. Wasn't it Singleton or whatever, the guy that you were talking about?
Jonathan Singleton.
Yeah.
Also the last guy to get an extension or guaranteed money for actually playing in the big leagues, and he is a disaster. He was a disaster. Last played in the big leagues in 2013. And is actually in the final year of said extension, rotting away in the Astros minor league system. So, although Kingery is a little bit more of a sure thing because he has a little bit more defensive position versatility, where Singleton was like first base DH only. Kingery can play over the diamond, which will make it a lot easier for him to stick.
Right. But and then moving on, opening days in 3 days, or you can say 2 days because today's over with.
My thoughts on this upcoming baseball season.
That's funny. You're just saying that because we're Detroit fans here in the Metro Detroit area, and we know how bad it is. Doesn't mean that opening day is not going to be awful.
The AL East is going to be fun.
Yes.
I'm with you, Dorf. I'm not looking forward to this baseball season.
Oh, that's funny. And moving on, Tiger Woods says he's going to play in his Washington area tournament benefiting his foundation this summer. First time since 2015. So is this like a sign, kind of like Tiger's actually back, or like is he like he's golfing so much more?
I don't know if he's back. I think he's definitely setting himself up to, getting himself as prepared as possible for the match.
How old is Tiger? And was he early 40s?
Tiger, I think he's like 38.
Is he? Yeah.
I thought he was older than that.
I think he's in his early 40s.
Yeah, I think he's older. I want to say
1975. So he'd be 43.
Okay, so
42. He turns 43. Oh, okay, December 30th. So
Okay, so yeah, I'm
22
like,
the entire
so
year.
he still has a good maybe 30 more years of golf in him.
Oh, come on. He's going to... No, I bet to say he has a decade left on the regular tour is stretching it.
Mm-hmm.
Before he gets to the senior tour. That's,
That's gonna be so weird when he hits the senior tours. Seeing Tiger
It's
Woods.
called a Legends Tour, you guys.
Okay,
Sorry.
Legends Tours. My bad.
Senior PGA Legends Tour. Well, pretty soon he's going to be playing some web.com Central American Tour. It's actually a guy that my brother played basketball with growing up that's actually out playing on that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh
Dude,
man,
he makes like $200,000 a year to play golf in like Brazil and Mexico.
do you guys see Tony Romo's first PGA Tour? He was out. He did awful. He didn't make the cut.
last.
Yeah, he did really bad.
Whatever.
Yeah, I just started laughing when I saw that.
Might as well. I mean, what?
What? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But he's the
Thing to do
over
until
the
fall.
years of watching him play football. Everybody talked about how good he was at golf and all that stuff.
You know what's the best job ever? NFL color commentary guy. Because you don't have to work the rest of the year. You work like what? Let's just say it's 17 weeks a year. Maybe 17 to 24 days a year. You still make a couple $1 million? Shucks.
He's good at it, too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is. He's funny. He cracks me up.
I like Tony Romo.
It's very good.
Moving on, Madison Bumgarner, man. This guy just can't stay healthy now. Out to 6-8
What
weeks.
happened? How did he break his hand this
The
time?
line drive, right at him. Just same. Well, things.
I can't say it's his fault.
I know, but this will look like Chris Sale happened to him. He might not even be ready for opening day. And then I don't know. Is King Felix back from his? Did he?
He pitched it.
Did he?
I think
Okay.
yesterday.
Okay, so I'm like the three top guys are line drive pitcher. I'm like this is sucks. So anyways, Bumgarner's out 6 to 8 weeks. So they're going to Ty. I think is how you say it, Blatch or
Ty
Blatch.
Blatch.
Blatch. He's going to be their opening day starter.
What?
Because Jeff Smart is not going to be ready for opening day, and
Can they get Matt Cain to come out of retirement?
yeah.
Is Matt Cain with anybody?
I don't know.
No,
but-
he's retired.
Right, he's
He actually
retired.
retired?
Yeah, he retired, and that's where I was going to go to. The last pitcher besides Madison Bumgarner was Matt Cain to open for opening day for the Giants, and that was 2013. So Bumgarner has been the starting opening day pitcher for the Giants for quite a while.
Is Tim
now.
Lincecum actually going to make the Rangers too?
Maybe.
It sounds like, what's his face? Who's signed the minor league contract?
Bartolo Colon.
Yeah, Bartolo Colon. It sounds like he's going to end up making.
No, they just released him.
No, they just signed him to a minor
I
league
know
deal
they
again,
released him,
though.
signed him to a minor league deal.
Lincecum will start season on deal with blister issue.
Yeah, so it sounds like he's going to eventually, though, be up. With
I'll
the
tell
team.
you what, man.
Wait, I'm confused on that whole Cologne thing because what I was reading today.
Bartolo Colon was released, but
Right,
then
and
was
then-
immediately signed to a minor league deal.
Right, and then that's because he's still. They say he still has a chance of making the open.
Yeah,
day
he still
roster.
can, but that just means they can send him down without
Right.
losing him.
So that's what I was just reading.
And that
wanted to-
doesn't guarantee any of his money either.
Right, the only way he's guaranteed is he makes the roster.
No, because he signed a minor league deal.
Not anymore.
So that changed. So the 1.3 that he signed for before.
And they also signed Trevor Plouffe to a minor league deal today. Was guaranteed $1.5 million this year. Because they only plan on having him start in the major leagues until Tim Lincecum's ready. And at that point, they're going to let him go. Or send him down to
Cologne?
minors. Yeah.
So they're sitting here doing this Cologne, Lincecum. Oh my god,
Lincecum will not be ready to start the season.
that sucks.
That's funny to me.
I,
Like how like is it really
No, I
worth
think-
Cologne?
I don't know. I think I have more confidence in Bartolo.
Yeah,
Colon.
because he's
Big
proved
heart.
he's proved to be healthy over these years, even
Hey,
though he's 44.
Let's put it this way. Tim Lincecum has been working out at Driveline Baseball up in Washington.
Right.
Those guys are freaking wizards. Anything they've done to modify his stuff, I bet you he might be pretty damn good.
Okay.
No, seriously, those guys are freaking wizards. up
I
there.
hope so because I've always been a Lincecum fan. So
Well, if anybody is a like biomechanics nerd or just any sort of like baseball science nerd, follow those guys on social media. It's crazy the amount of like research and data and all that stuff. And
I've seen some of their
you
stuff.
know what all got them started?
Steroids.
No.
Take
You know-
as
you know
many
that-
steroids
that
as you
old
can.
adage that your high school pitching coach told you about equal and opposite? It's wrong.
Okay.
Just look at the data.
Okay.
like I said,
No, they're a very good follow.
he's
They're
got
very,
to
very good follow.
he's got to prove a lot this year. So
And the guy who started up there, Kyle Body, he's funny too.
ringing endorsement from Dorf on what's it called again?
Driveline Baseball.
Driveline Baseball. Check him out. DrivelineBaseball.com.
I'm not sure. It might be Speed Driveline.
You're saying it incorrectly.
Anything else, Sean?
No, that's going to be it today.
DrivelineBaseball.com, yes.
All right. DrivelineBaseball.com. Check him out on social media. Do you have a phone number or anything too, Dorf?
Yeah.
Would you like it?
Today's been a very good advertisement show for us. So
Yeah, we're not getting paid for any of this shilling either.
Anyways, though.
That's going to do it this week. We'll see everybody next time. So for Dorf, Sean, I'm Adam.
Bye for now, everybody.